Hi everyone. Time for another Q&A in 8, as you can hear by my awesome introduction. Thank you guys so much for the feedback from last week. I really appreciate it. Madkins is being a little bit vocal right now. It's funny how as soon as I sit down to film today's Q&A in 8, she just goes ballistic. It's awesome. It's almost like she's... Maddie. So hopefully I can get through this without too much Maddykins action. If not, I will have to try again. So today the topic is actually, I'm going to do something, I guess, it's pretty bad that I'm already going like honey badger on my second video, but I want to tackle actually a few different questions in one and maybe provide some information to help on actually answer some of my other hack. Sorry about that. Maddykins and I have a little talk about her being so vocal while I'm trying to do, of course, my Q&A in 8. So back to what I was talking about and the question that I am going to try to cover, or I guess the subject matter. So one of the questions that I got asked, or a couple of questions, related to how to keep healthy while you're either prepping or on certain supplement protocols. Or actually one of the really cool ones I got was from a male coach that was asking me how they can ensure that they keep their female client healthy throughout prep. So, and that's a really great topic. I love having that conversation because it's not commonly had. And I mean, I don't want to get too much up on my soapbox right at the second Q&A in 8 video, but there is a power dynamic that exists within coaching and client relationships. And I think that it is... it's there, people know about it, or else they wouldn't be hiring a coach to begin with. They want somebody that knows more, Maddie, knows more, that they feel comfortable in terms, and I mean, this is lack of better words, that they need to be bossed around, and they need to have somebody that they can trust in that do or die situation to get them in contest shape. This is not a normal kind of circumstance, right? You got to push your body to quite a few extremes. So, Maddie... Sorry. She just really does not want me to do a Q&A in 8 today, apparently, but, hold on a second. Dear Antler, this is so noisy on hardwood floors. But as I was saying, so ways to keep your clients healthy, ways to kind of manage your hormones and balance them is really simple. It's not even, I guess it's a protocol. Is communication. I talked last week a little bit about both like an integrative health perspective. I also talked about application. So this week it is about communication. And going back to that power dynamic that exists between a coach and a client, one of the really, this is not bad. I'm not going to be like all rah. I've got to have more female coaches. But I mean, look at it. There is very few female prep coaches in comparison to male prep coaches, especially when we're talking about like the people that are more like on, I guess, the coaching hierarchy. And I mean, again, I don't want to get into too many conversations about this because it is quite a complex topic. I could tell you all about the history of, medicine, physical education, physical culture, and why this is the case, but we're going to save that one for another day. Ryan, I will get this done in under 20 minutes, I promise you. So, communicating with our clients. There are certain conversations that have to do with like what I call it the big three. So when we think about contest prep, it's commonly like training, diet, supplements. But there's so much more to prep. There's so much more involved that people don't actually communicate with their clients about. I mean, even just as simple as asking about like sleep. So key. There are, though, those topics that are taboo that we don't have because, I mean, hell, they're taboo. People don't like to get uncomfortable. I love it. So one of the little, like, again, I guess you could call this a protocol. I just call this common sense. But it's nicely summarized in the 4 P's. And no, this is not all that I ask my clients. There is so much more than that. And no, this is not all you should be asking yourself because you can have this conversation with you. But this is just 4 topics that over time, through experience, through research, I personally have found, and others have agreed with me, that just are not being had with their clients, with themselves, with practitioners. So, number 1 P is poop. I love talking about poop. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for making me so comfortable about talking about bodily functions. But I mean, hell, when I had coaches early on in my kind of fitness endeavors, nobody asked me about poop. Are you kidding me? That just like wasn't a thing. Now, why? Well, because it's people it makes people really uncomfortable to talk about poop. But poop is so important. It tells you so much about somebody's health status, about digestion, about gastrointestinal, just overall function, about hormone health, about just so many different things. And when we think about, let's just say, physique changes or even just training for an elite competition, there's a lot going on in the body that has to be right. We're trying to achieve some type of optimal or extraordinary state. So we do have to have optimal function or even just phenomenal function. So with our digestive system, things change as we start to introduce different foods. Things change as we start to add different stimulus, external ones, even just like emotional stress, lack of sleep. Things change with, like cutting water. You're going to not shit like you used to. And that's problematic because people respond with the most silly mechanisms like, hey, do a colonoscopy prep. Hey, do colon hydrotherapy. Hey, just take a bunch of laxatives. You'll be okay. And, I talked about this at Swiss, and I find it hilarious, but I call it like the Walden Farms phenomenon, which is you just have a shit ton of sugar alcohols, and all of a sudden you're not constipated anymore because you just had sugar alcohols, which the reason why they are zero calorically, let's say there's 0 calories attached to them. I can get into that in another video. Is because they don't pass through your system. They slide on out the door with everything else in there. And again, that itself can cause a lot of hazards with your body. Massive amounts of water retention because your body is just freaking pissed off at you because you just literally caused it to shit everything out. So I digress. I really like to talk about poop. Questions that you can ask yourself, questions that you should be asking your clients are the most basic things. Like, are you regularly going to the bathroom? What frequency are you going? What's the consistency? What does it smell like? Don't just flush. Take a whiff. What does it look like? Is there like undigested food? If there's undigested food in there, you got to get that fixed. And again, I don't want to go into too many details with these videos because there is just so much individual factors involved, but just tips to look out for. So the next P that we're going to talk about is, what one do I want to cover next? Let's go to privates. Yeah, another regions, another one of my favorite topics. Privates. And again, I'm going to tailor this a little bit more to females. What can you be asking? Questions that might make you feel uncomfortable but really need to be asked. Does it smell? Again, thanks Mom and Dad for making me so comfortable about talking about the vulgar things, but I jokingly say that one of the things that is ingrained in the back of my mind, it's like seared in there, is the smell of protein and fish backstage at a competition. And nobody's eating fish back there. It's because girls' pH is so fucked up that it just reeks. And you guys are all either going like, ew, that's disgusting, or, yeah, she's right. Yeah, that's what it smells like. Because it does. When you take certain hormones, when you take certain supplements, certain diet protocols, I mentioned this last week, you're changing the pH in your body, and you're also changing just your overall flora and fauna. You're changing the homeostasis and the balance, which in some individuals, that creates an excretion, that creates a smell. That might not be something that is, I'm going to use this word very sparingly, quote unquote, normal, and that needs to be looked at, that needs to be addressed. Just don't throw some like Vagisil wipes on there and pretend that everything's okay, because it's probably not. Learn, listen, look, right? The basic things. Other questions that, women have come to me going like, you know what, like it burns when I pee, and I'm like, dude, that's not normal. Have you told your coach that? Well, no, I'm really like self-conscious. For fuck's sakes, if you're paying somebody to prep you for a show, they better know what's going on inside your body, or else they're not going to be able to prep you for a show properly. And if that's happening to you and you need to, you need to sort that out. It's really, really important. Your body is trying to tell you something. Same thing goes with like, I mean, the most basic things, which I always laugh about, is when it comes to female anabolic use, people often just focus on like enlarged clit. That's not the only thing that can happen. I just covered 2 things that can also happen. Yet coaches, again, they're either not talking about it because they just don't know, or because it makes people uncomfortable to talk about it. So moving on, again, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible, but I got 4 P's to cover. So 2 down, 2 to go. The next one I'm going to cover is protection. And again, as related to the female body. So women, are you on birth control? Basic. Because if you're taking birth control, which is traditionally most often either a blend of estrogen and progesterone, or even just estrogen with a couple other compounds, or very rare to just get progesterone-based ones, but you're having hormones, you're having estrogen, and then you're also taking an anti-estrogen. Think about this. 1 pill to make you tall, 1 pill to make you small. Your body is going to hate you because it's at war with itself. And I'm oversimplifying this. Please come talk to me if you have more questions about this, but it just does not make physiological sense. And when we think about what sex hormones do with our body, what the role of estrogen is, how estrogen plays with other hormones, other responses, I mean, estrogen and insulin, they do this funky little dance in some females, then that is so important to know. Even if you are no longer on birth control, your coach or even just yourself, think about how that influences your hormone state. Think about how that influences your overall affinity to be able to achieve a certain physique or athletic endeavor. Hormones matter, and when it comes to on that one, I guess like even my iPhone doesn't want me to do a video today, but when it comes to hormones, as I was saying, they matter. Knowing about protection, it matters. There are different, protection, contraception. You got your oral, you've got your IUD. There's different types of IUD. They matter. You got to know that, and you got to know how that influences your body, because ultimately you are introducing a synthetic hormone. Yet nobody gives a shit about synthetic hormones that are the female sex hormones. We only really give a shit apparently about the, male ones, and I'm using quotations and I'm being a little bit facetious because this drives me up the wall. If you guys want me to kind of talk more about that one, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to get back up on my soapbox on that one. But it does matter. There is a lot of long-term changes that can happen in an individual depending on who they are. If you've just gone off birth control, it takes time to rebalance out your body, and just because you have menses all of a sudden doesn't mean you're in the clear. There are other signs that you need to be looking out for, working with your doctor, hopefully on, to make sure that you are achieving some type of a normal hormone base. And I say normal, and again, just really with a grain of salt, because it is different for everybody. We're not all these robots that have 28-day perfect periods, nor should we have them. Unfortunately, the way in which reproduction, I guess the knowledge of reproductive sciences has come to be, is that they kind of expect us to, and if we don't, we're just, there's something wrong with us. Totally not the case. Again, if you want me to talk more about that on a different video, I would be more than happy to. I love talking about the taboo. But let's move on to the next one. So far, we have got privates, we've got protection, we've got poop, and the last one I've already just touched on, and that is your period, which I love. I mean, you guys can probably already tell, I'm really passionate about this stuff, because these are just things that people don't talk about. Coaches think that, like, oh my God, my girl's got her period, she's healthy. She's got great reproductive status, and there's nothing that I need to worry about. That's so wrong. Or, she's lost her period, that's totally normal because she's on PrEP. No, I'm sorry. That's not the way she works. All of us, men, women alike, we are individuals. We have individual variants. We've got variables that make up who we are, that are both internal and external to our body, and they influence all 4 of these taboo topics I've just talked about. When we play ignorant, when we're like that ostrich with the head in the sand and they just kick up everything and pretend that everything is okay, what we're doing is we're contributing to this culture of ignorance. We're contributing to this culture of making I mean, frick, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ryan, I'm going over time, but instead of us building bodies, we're destructing them. We are taking them apart and we are doing a whole ton of bad. And I don't want to come across as being up on my high horse about this. I don't want to come across as that there's like no coaches that do this, but in terms of what I've seen in the industry, and I have been around, I know I probably look like I'm fairly young, but I've been around in the industry now in a coaching capacity for 12 years, or coming up then. So it's been a while. So please start talking to your clients about the 4Ps. Please start talking to yourself about the 4Ps. Remember, one of the best things that you can do is you can communicate. You can talk things over. And coaches, if you don't know and your clients told you something, it's okay to say, I don't know. Let me find out, or let me find somebody who does know. Don't try to validate your own self-worth through pretending like you know and giving bad information out. Thank you guys. I don't know if that helped you. I know I went a little bit off on my tangents. I know it probably took me like 3 tries to actually get this full video together. But I am so grateful that you guys are interested in listening to me chat about these topics. I'm so grateful that I've got this opportunity. And as I'm slowly starting to kind of talk more about what my future kind of endeavors are with my new website, with doing more consulting work, it really is about me giving back, because I feel like I have been so blessed with working with some amazing mentors, amazing, I mean, just beautiful people that have been so eager to share information and knowledge and help educate me. Through my research, I've had some phenomenal just experiences that I want to be able to pass on and to facilitate other people, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about you all. It's about me being able to help you guys. So I don't give a shit if I just took like, probably at the end of this, it's gonna be like half an hour of talking, because this is how we can get good knowledge out there. This is how we can do good work, as my supervisor always says to me. So thank you guys again. I'm so grateful. I will hopefully get another video before next week. I'm gonna try to do 2 next week, and then again 2 the week after that. Try to get some more content up. But thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm, and I look forward to talking with you guys more. And hit me up in the comments or private message if there's anything you would like to talk more about or you would like me to cover in the future. Thanks, guys.